Yeah. So I mean, the point is that false flag attacks are no stranger to history, and the only exception is that 9/11 was by far the most violent and most tragic.
You were in New York City for this anniversary for 9/11, correct?
No, I wasn't actually. I was for the first year since I've been there every year since from 05 to 08, and this year 09, the first year I was in New York City. I was on the 9th. I was up in Oakland, California for a premiere at the Grand Lake Theater with Carol Boulet and her group, and that went extremely well. And then I did a premiere in Los Angeles on the 11th, and that also went well. I mean, we had people sitting on the floor up front. I mean, it was crazy.
That's right, and I asked you that question. I knew you were in Oakland. The point being, there was an averted 9/11 style attack for the anniversary of 9/11 in New York that was going to kind of mimic the London bombings, the 7/7 bombings, where trains would be attacked by Al-Qaeda, but Al-Qaeda with Afghan and Pakistani roots. And the FBI went to the cops there and said, look, there's going to be an attack, but back off. We've got it. We've got these guys under surveillance. We're watching them.
This year?
And the New York police went in, and they busted these guys. Anyway, they found nothing, and then the next thing you know, this memo was leaked charging New York City police officers of corruption because they went against what the FBI wanted them to do, which was to stand back so they could lose control of the operation, again, like 93 World Trade Center bombing, like the 9/11 bombing, and then just claim incompetence. Instead, the New York City police went in and they busted these guys, and they might have stopped this false flag terrorist attack, which was rolling, and I assume to justify the continued escalation and attacks in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Wow, yeah, I remember hearing that that a cell had been broken up, but not that it was that close. So I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. I've been kind of, traveling a lot, doing a lot of stuff, so I apologize. I haven't read up on that, but I'm going to have to now.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you were in your bunker making this film, but now I'm telling you that it looks like a near false flag miss where the New York City police went off the script. I mean, this very same thing happened, Dylan, as you know, in 9/11. Do you want to talk about that? I know that's in the film where all of the so-called patsies are under massive surveillance, and with David Shippers and everybody saying, look, this is about to happen. They're like, just stand back. We've got it. We're watching these guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was one case, an FBI informant named Akai Collins, who went on ABC News, I think in 2002, where he got that clip from, and publicly stated, he's like, I gave the FBI, his name, his address, what he drove, where he lived. I gave them everything they needed to know about this guy, and they refused to go after him. And then, of course, the news, when ABC asked the FBI, they're like, yeah, we were paying this guy to monitor these guys, but he didn't give us any information about Hani Hunter. And, Akai Collins, very, very adamant. He's like, no, I gave them very explicit information. I said, this is who these guys are, this is what they're working on. These guys were allowed into the country and allowed to do whatever it is they had to do to create a trail.
And they were being monitored the entire time, and the Global Intelligence Services, the FBI, it's cool, we got this, just like in 1993 where they were part of the Sting operation. I mean, how many times do we got to tell people this so they can understand, not just what happened on 9/11, because, Dylan, isn't it imperative to understand what happened on 9/11 so we don't get a 9/12 or a 9/13?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the key to avoiding another one, is to understand the first one that started it all.
Hypothetically, if the big terror attack by Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda on the 9/11 anniversary in New York City actually went forward, how many people do you think would actually buy it?
Man, I don't even know. I don't even know what the kind of reaction would be to something like that right now, but I can't imagine it wouldn't be good regardless. I'm glad that something like that was truly averted, if that is the case. Yeah. So
I think the New York City Police Department should be commended.
I think so, too. And I think that if the FBI is actually giving them a hard time over it, then it's out of their minds.
Well, you see what happens.
Plays, of course.
You see what happens when you defy the feds. It appears, and we live in this really interesting day and time, Dylan, where the government has cried Wolfowitz, wolf, way too many times, and people aren't believing it, especially because this didn't go off. It didn't happen. The suspects are being released, and they're on their own recognizance. There's bail set. They're running around, albeit with electronic monitors. They're not even in custody, these guys.
Yeah, that's too funny.
But instead of invading Afghanistan and Iraq and giving us the Patriot Act, it is to justify the very things that the George Bush and cousin Dick Cheney administration did to this country and to the world. It's not even to do anything new. It's just to justify the old stuff.
It's just to continue it, yeah.
You know, it's one of those days, man.
I can't believe you even have to explain this stuff to people anymore. But.
Well, I mean, you guys kind of hit this in your film as well. Where do we go from here? And, I mean, at this point, with the process of denial, and we really have to understand, don't we, that the reason people deny, they don't want to know about 9/11 and it being an inside job. They don't want to know about Oklahoma City, and they don't want to know about the USS Liberty or Operations Northwood or Gladio, as you mentioned, or P2OG, because they don't want to handle the responsibility of knowing about it. And these are really the only people we have left. They're just living in plain denial.
Yeah, I love how they turn it right back around and say, oh, well, these guys enjoy thinking this, and they enjoy living in fear of shadowy forces. It's like, no, actually, it terrifies the hell out of us. So I don't know. I think what it comes down to now is that, you see that a lot of people that are still holding on to the official story and the government's word that everything's going to be all right. Those people, I mean, it's really the diehards that I think are left. People like, the Screw Loose Change guys and that reverend I went up against the radio. I mean, they're so stuck. I mean, you could. Right. With Pat Curley, I was calling the 9/11 Commission report into question, and his immediate response was, well, the Commission report isn't really the end-all, say-all of 9/11. I can't believe he can say something like that. That was the whole point of the Commission.
Yeah, unlike, Glenn Beck or Michelle Malkin, they have to go by the script. Whether they believe any of this or not, they have to go by the script. They know they'll be punished immediately if they don't follow the script. Someone like Screw Loose Change, I mean, they've created they've monetized a little industry for themselves by debunking what you do, even though they never actually get around to debunking it.
Yeah, they just mostly call names and keep repeating the same thing over and over while ignoring a large amount of the movement's claims. But,
Can you talk about the family members? Many of the family members. We know Manny Badillo, a family member. He lost his uncle on 9/11. He's in charge of that NYC Can project. When we come back, can you talk about what they've said now, the reviews that they've given you, how they feel about this new film, and let's just put this all in a proper perspective, because this is why it's all getting done. This is why the new film is out, because we've got to get to the truth for the people that died there and the people that are still dying, by the way, due to complications. Stay with us, folks. Dylan Avery on the show.